I've had quite a lot of people asking me for my head-to-head review between the Lenovo Legion 5i and the Asus Zephyrus G14. So in this video, we will get a look at the Ryzen 9 4900HS versus the i7-10750H. I have run each of these laptops through 14 creator-focused benchmarks covering video editing in Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve, motion design, graphic design, photo editing, 3D modeling, and more.
Let's get rocking!
If you're new to the channel, my name is Benji Kaiser. This is where you're going to find the best tech and tools for creative professionals. So if that sounds like your kind of place, consider subscribing and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. Also, if you're curious about the pricing and availability of either of these laptops as we're going through the video, you can head down in the description below and click one of those links. Now, if you do use that link to make a purchase, I will get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you, and that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. The Lenovo Legion 5i and the Asus Zephyrus G14 have very different appearances and form factors, but one thing they do have in common is their rejection of the gamer laptop appearance. They are both suitable designs to be taken seriously at client meetings. The Legion 5i with its matte green top cover and iridescent logo, and the Asus Zephyrus G14 with its matte white LED infused top cover both look great, but I must say that the Asus Zephyrus is quite a bit fancier. Concerning the overall build quality, my vote swings toward the Zephyrus G14 with its aluminum top cover, bottom cover, and keyboard deck. The Legion 5i is still well built, but my heart is won over by the durability of that aluminum chassis on the G14. So as far as tough is concerned, the G14 is the tougher of the two laptops. Regarding the ports on each of these laptops, I always encourage people to think about their own use cases. The latest and greatest ports are great, but only if they fit your needs. So observe the ports shown here and choose wisely. As I open the lid on each of these laptops, I'm able to do so with one hand. The hinges are smooth and strong. There's only a slight bit of screen flex on the Zephyrus G14 with a little bit more on the Legion 5i. Both are solid and sturdy, but due to the G14's smaller chassis, it tends to feel a little less wobbly. Concerning the on-the-go capability of these laptops, the Asus Zephyrus G14 certainly takes the crown on this head-to-head, as it is simply a smaller form factor overall. The G14 has a 14-inch display as opposed to the Legion 5i's 15.6-inch display. The G14 weighs in at 3.53 pounds at a thickness of 0.7 inches thick, whereas the Legion 5i comes in at 5.1 pounds at a thickness of 0.93 inches. Concerning the battery life, the Asus Zephyrus G14 will get roughly 9.5 hours of web browsing battery life and about 6 to 7 hours of design and video editing out of its 76 watt-hour battery. Whereas the Legion 5 will get roughly 5 to 6 hours of web browsing battery life and maybe about 3 to 4 hours of design and video editing battery life out of its 57 watt-hour battery. So if you're looking for a thin and light and power-efficient laptop for 4K video editing, then I would go for the Zephyrus G14. But do note that the smaller screen does come with less room for your edits. What about the ventilation on each of these laptops? Both the Zephyrus G14 and the Legion 5i have generous vents for cooling. They both have vents on the bottom cover, behind the keyboard deck, and side panels. Let's check out the benchmarks to see how well these laptops are cooled during the up-and-coming benchmark tests. As you can see, the G14 is certainly the hotter of the two laptops. Although the G14 is the better on-the-go laptop, you will sacrifice a little by choosing a hotter laptop. We will get into how this affects or does not affect the performance later in the video. How noisy are these fans and how well do they cool the laptop during the benchmark test coming up later? Now, how noisy are these fans, and how well did they cool the laptop in every test coming up later in the video? At idle, the Legion 5i fans kicked on occasionally to about 30 to 35 decibels, whereas the G14 gets a bit louder at 43 decibels and remains there for the most part while doing some light web browsing. The Legion 5i's fan noise during web browsing was around 35 to 40 decibels. During the 4K video editing export in Premiere Pro, the Legion 5i ramps up to around 51 decibels, and the Zephyrus G14 a smidge louder at 60 decibels. During the DaVinci Resolve export, the fans on the Legion 5i were at 51 decibels, and the G14 was at 59 decibels. Now, for the Photoshop benchmark test, the Legion 5i was at 35 to 45 decibels, and depending on the task it was performing in the test, the G14 was at around 61 decibels. The Legion 5i comes with a 15.6-inch Full HD display that can reach 144 Hz and at a brightness of 350 nits. And since receiving the matte green 144 Hz version of this laptop, I'm happy to report a color gamut range of 99% sRGB, 80% Adobe RGB, and 80% DCI-P3. The Asus Zephyrus G14 comes with a 14-inch Full HD display that can reach 120 Hz. At a full brightness, it can reach 330 nits with a Pantone validated color gamut range of 96% sRGB, 75% Adobe RGB, and 76% DCI-P3. As you see, both laptops have excellent color accuracy, so either one is a great choice for this category. The keyboard on the Zephyrus G14 is good. It has a nice, firm, snappy key press and is a suitable layout. I enjoy the layout a lot as there are not all the extra keys that personally I tend to never use. I will point out that there are substantial light leaks on the sides of the keys, inconsistent backlighting showing through the keys, and in the dark, the silver gray contrast is a little tough to see when typing. As I turn my focus toward the Legion 5i, it is easy to pick a clear winner between these two laptop keyboards. The Legion 5i comes with a soft touch matte finish on the keys that feels very nice beneath my fingers. The backlighting on the keys is excellent and the firm, snappy, quiet key press is most agreeable. Both the Asus Zephyrus G14 and the Legion 5i come with all-in-one trackpads, with the click built in. I prefer the Legion 5i's trackpad a little bit more. It has an excellent matte finish that feels slightly tacky beneath my fingers as I drag my fingers across it. To me, this feels great while conducting video edits, designing in Adobe's Design Suite, and more. Plus, due to the larger form factor, the Legion 5i's trackpad is quite a bit bigger, which makes working on it easier. If you're needing a laptop to attend virtual meetings, then you are going to want to select the Legion 5i as it is the only one with a 720p webcam in the head-to-head battle here. If you're enjoying this video and getting some value, gently press down on that like button and let me know how you plan on using this laptop by dropping a comment below. If you want more content like this in the future, then make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. Let's get back into it. On to the main event, the performance benchmarking test between the Asus Zephyrus G14 and the Lenovo Legion 5i. The Asus Zephyrus G14 I'm reviewing comes with an AMD Ryzen 4900HS with 8 cores and 16 threads, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 Max-Q with 6 gigs of VRAM, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and 1 terabyte of SSD. Whereas the Lenovo Legion 5i comes with the i7-10750H with 6 cores and 12 threads, the NVIDIA GTX 1660 Ti with 6 gigs of VRAM, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and 512 gig SSD. Jumping right into the 3D modeling test, let's take a look at how these laptops handle Autodesk and a few other programs. The G14 Autodesk 3ds Max score of 136 with the Legion 5i with a 144. The Autodesk Maya from the G14 was 158.43 and the Legion 5i 173.29. PTC Creo from the G14 129.16 and the Legion 5i 127.74. The G14 SolidWorks 71.36 and the Legion 5i 77.09. 3D modeling was a close battle, but as you can see, the Legion 5i pulled slightly ahead on 3 out of the 4 tests. Moving on to motion graphics, I am using Puget Systems After Effects benchmark and the After Effects render benchmark. Per the charts, you can see that the Zephyrus G14 pulled nearly 100 points ahead of the Legion 5i. The Zephyrus G14 scoring a 775 over the Legion 5i's 679. The gap increases during the After Effects render test results. The Zephyrus G14 was able to put even more space between these two laptops by scoring a 615 and the Legion 5i snagging a 430. This is due primarily to the G14's beefier RTX 2060 Max-Q GPU. Just before moving on to the video editing test, let's take a look at how well these two laptops will perform in Adobe's Design Suite by benchmarking them in the Puget Systems Photoshop benchmark. Both laptops perform well, capturing equally suitable middle of the charts spot, making each of these laptops a great fit for Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. But you know that the G14 was able to pull off a slightly better score by snagging a 688 over the Legion 5i's 571. Now onto my favorite benchmark test, video editing. First, I'm going to start off with a playback test. For this test, I'm going to take a 9-minute 4K clip, add some motion graphics, and then play it back in the timeline at full quality. This clip contains 16,177 frames in total, with 7,240 of those frames being motion graphics. The Zephyrus G14 can play back at full quality 4K footage in the Premiere Pro timeline with only 3 drop frames. During this test, the Lenovo Legion 5i saw drop frame rates as follows. At full quality, 159 frames dropped. At half quality, 6 frames dropped. And at fourth quality, 0 frames dropped. Concerning that I was only running Premiere Pro during these tests, you may see slightly higher drop frames while multitasking, but you can easily switch to half or fourth quality to continue to get smooth playback in the timeline. Concerning the rendering of the motion design effects, I was able to render out the 7,240 frames in just 3 minutes and 6 seconds using the Zephyrus G14, and only a bit slower at 5 minutes and 2 seconds for the Legion 5i. Both are impressive times for that render test. Moving on to the 4K export test, I'm going to take a 9-minute 4K clip, place it into Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve using the DaVinci Resolve free version, then export both out at 1080p and 4K YouTube settings. The Zephyrus G14 did the Premiere Pro 4K to 4K export in 3 minutes and 2 seconds, whereas the Legion 5i did that same export in 5 minutes and 13 seconds. The G14 4K to 1080p took 2 minutes and 43 seconds, the Legion 5i 4 minutes and 40 seconds. The G14 DaVinci Resolve 4K to 4K took 7 minutes and 55 seconds. The Legion 5i did that same export in 11 minutes and 7 seconds. The G14 4K to 1080p took 4 minutes and 23 seconds out of DaVinci Resolve, and that same export from the Legion 5i took 4 minutes and 21 seconds. As mentioned earlier in the video, I want to make a quick note regarding the performance of the G14. Even though it produces nearly 10 more degrees Celsius during the 4K export than the Legion 5i, I know a lot of you guys are concerned if heat brings performance decreases. In this case, for the G14, it does not. It continues to perform very well with evidence from these benchmarks. Moving on to the computer usage for both laptops, here are the results during the benchmark tests. And if you're curious how the Ryzen 9 4900HS stacks up against the i7-10750H on Geekbench and Cinebench R20, here are those scores. If you're looking for a high-performance all-aluminum Ryzen 9 laptop with solid color accuracy, great benchmarks in all of the tests performed, and a distinguished build quality, then I would pick up the Asus Zephyrus G14. However, if you're looking for a professional, matte-finished OD green laptop that runs cool and fairly quiet while getting great benchmark results in Photoshop, video editing, 3D modeling, and motion design, all while using a great keyboard and trackpad combination, then I would consider picking up the Lenovo Legion 5i. If you're curious about the exact pricing and availability of these two laptops, you can head down in the description below and click those links. Remember, those are affiliate links, so I will get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you, and that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. If you want to watch more videos about the Asus Zephyrus G14 or the Lenovo Legion 5i, you can click or tap the screen over here. Otherwise, keep editing, keep designing, keep creating. I'm Benji Kaiser, and I will see you here in the next video.